wake up from the sunshine on my face, so dehydrated, don't know what to say. Who's sleeping by my side? What did I do last night? Can someone make this headache go away? Yesterday was supposed to be quiet, being to myself and sit in silence, until I got a call. My friend showed up at my door. They wanted me to go out for a while. We were dancing in the dark, with a feeling in our eyes. Felt like we had it all. We were dancing in the dark. We were dancing in the dark. Wow, oh, 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 oh. Wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, 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 wow, oh, 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 wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, oh. Every morning after feels the same. I know I only have myself to blame for drinking way too much. I guess I got caught up. Can someone make this headache go away? We were dancing in the dark, with a feeling in our eyes. Felt like we had it all. We were dancing in the dark. We were dancing in the dark. We were dancing in the dark, with a feeling in our eyes. Felt like we had it all. We were dancing in the dark. We were dancing in the dark. Wow, oh, 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 wow, oh, 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 wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, 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 wow, oh, 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 wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, oh.
You sold me out, I did not notice. It's been going on for a while. Ooh. When grace is gone, I can see all things so clear. It was all pretend. I can find a higher line over the clouds above. I can find a higher ground. I just have to reach past the summit line to reach higher love. Years have passed and I did not notice. Still I'm thinking about our past. Ooh. Now when you are gone, I can see all things so clear. pretend. You look back and I look back, we don't see the same thing. It's time that we just let it die. Oh, I can find a higher love over the clouds above. I can find a higher ground. I just have to reach past the summit of light. I can find a higher line over the clouds above, and I can find a higher ground. I just have to reach past the summit of light to reach higher love.